Hey, cyber citizens. This is Cali Joe from North Carolina, March 28th, 2025. The final week of Women's History Month, and I'm giving it to the players, the staff, the reporters of the NCAA, sorry about that, women's college basketball, and to the coaches as well. Ivy, Austin, Wyckoff, Staley, Mulkey, and even Simone Augustus, which is an assistant coach. Don't worry, cyber citizens. So right now, the Maryland versus South Carolina game just got over with South Carolina winning. Unlike the podcast from last week, I'm not distracted because I'm in my cell, blindfolded with no radio. Okay, I'm only joshing you. I'm not blindfolded, but there will be zero distractions this time. That's later during the LSU North Carolina State game. So I hope y'all have been having a great week. Cyber citizens, we haven't done this in a long time, but cyber citizens, are you ready for social and criminal justice networking and solutions? I come with good news that's even helpful for me, the good old Cali Joe. The Prison Resources Repurposing Act for North Carolina, Senate Bill number 681. It's an act to expand the mutual agreement parole program to allow for the parole of inmates sentenced to life without parole. Moi! That's French for me. Of course, you already knew that.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
Well, this week, Kim Kardashian on the Kardashians on Hulu. Kim visits a prison in California with friends and family joining her. So, as I was speaking about the Prison Resource Repurposing Act, which is an act to expand the mutual agreement parole program to allow for the parole of inmates sentenced to life without parole. Sponsored by Senators Liddell and Brestine. Currently referred towards the rules and operations of the Senate, with other movement going on after serving a minimum of 20 years. The bill reads as granting and will have to comply with mandatory educational, vocational, and work requirements. The conditions of eligibility are an assessment after completing the first 5 years of our sentence. Done that, the prisoner is given a 15-year contract. The second part would be mandatory education of GED, I'm good there, and vocational trade programming offered by the DAC. Now, this mandate is to complete the education program. It can be satisfied by the completion of an accredited associate or bachelor's degree program, such as, for example, my associate's degree in giving and Christian counseling, which should be done by the end of the year. Yeehaw! The mandate, it's a mandatory work requirement after completing of assessment and education. So prisoners must participate in work for correctional enterprises, which is various industries within the prison system, the inmate construction program, or any incentive wage occupation provided by the Department of Adult Corrections. For me, that would be my law library job. Not employed, so that's a good sign. With favorable employer evaluations to earn a promotion and work assignment, may be transferred to minimum custody or work release upon promotion. Oh, what? I'll work real often when I get out. No, I'm just kidding. There are limitations that still apply. The incidence of parole would be a term of parole of 5 years and may be terminated earlier. Parole violation. Those with life without parole who is paroled that violates the condition of parole is returned to prison to serve the life sentence, but will not be eligible for parole for another 5 years. Now, there was a time where, like, decades ago, they would give their life without parole back and never get a second chance. It's mandatory to comply with the assessment, the education, and the work. And the prisoner will remain in prison. It's got a retroactive application where those with life without parole already having served 20 years by enactment, and if they have completed the assessment, the education, and the work, they'll have to do a 3-year contract and remain in prison for another 3 years until complete. The post-release, which is different than parole, will also be 5 years. This act will apply retroactively and prospectively for everybody who has life without parole, myself included. We need people. It'd be nice if we could get people to network with the North Carolina legislative branch. That said, here are some North Carolina senators network with, which is the two supporters of it, which is Joyce Waddell, Democrat, District 40 of Mecklenburg, Lisa Grafstein, Democrat, District 13 of Lake County. There's also Lieutenant Governor Rachel Hunt. And our biggest person that we need to deal with would be Phil Berger, the Senate President. I've attacked him many times on here for various things. Well, we have a love-hate relationship, I think. But let's hope all we feel. He's Guilford County and Rockland County. The matter to be addressed, which has all lifers curious right now, where we are hoping for a conversation. And from the next couple of podcasts, we will be addressing various aspects of this new bill that we're hoping that we can get fully passed through. The measure allows for 20 years, once those set criteria are met, of assessment, education, and work. The questions right now are, what is the projected rate of the substance for the release after meeting these conditions? And what is the interview proceeding going to be? Who's ultimately the decision maker, and what is the decision maker's criteria to become a decision maker? Those are kind of important things, because there are some states that allow dentists on parole boards where they have no idea anything about the law. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. And we will address that in a later podcast. This would be a good first step inquiry into the release of the interview proceedings. Is there a chance and opportunity to allow a former prisoner to be part of that review board? I feel this is a good place. Our lifers are excited. This gives us hope.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
Everybody loves live. Not everybody loves it, but Everybody Live with John Mulaney on Netflix. Yeah. But as I was saying, I feel this is a chance for hope. Many of us have not had ourselves in a very long time. However, many of us, such as myself, have fought for years to remove the unlawful conviction that, as previously stated on other podcasts, has been impeded by defects in our state's post-conviction systems. And some of us still desire to remove such unlawful convictions. However, I could easily wait 3 years, because that's what I would have to wait, because I'm down 17, and easily potentially go home on that if this is passed. I'm not likely to reoffend, and I'm one of the best candidates for this opportunity. But the truth is, my crime is not a first-degree murder, and again, I was strictly defending the plea bargain. Well, also I did not get indicted because the council's actions and inactions included the signing of a bill of information, waiving indictment on first-degree murder, and that again is a violation of the North Carolina statutes and the North Carolina Constitution. That said, what would you do in a similar situation? Because in North Carolina, second-degree murder is 12 to 15 years, 15 to 18 years, 18 to 24 years at a level 2, which is where I would be at. I easily fall into that 15 to 18, and we will revisit this conversation again on another podcast. It's a curious question, because 3 years and the chance for a potential of being let out because I meet all the requirements, it's a good question. We'll have to get back on that. I would love to hear your thoughts. But let's go into other news. Recently, this week, Good Morning America on ABC with Sam QVC and Bob Roberts did a story 6 months after Hurricane Helene.
Hold on, bro.
Asheville, North Carolina. Alrighty. I appreciate that. That was the fabulous J. Renee, my favorite person in the whole library. As I was saying, after the hurricane had hit Asheville, North Carolina, and devastated it, our little city got some love, and I want to say thank you to Ginger, Sam, and Robin Roberts. For whatever reason, our little city has been ignored, and people were living in tents during the winter. At least somebody is now shining a light on the state, other than the light that's cast by the major fires we got going on in the western region right now as well. There's a lot of trauma going on for people in that area, so we should definitely keep our prayers up for them. And I'll continue to advocate for the western region of North Carolina. The people need it. Not to mention, with Robin Roberts on location, that gave us the opportunity to see one of my other favorite people, Lindsay Davis, in studio. So let's just promote Ginger Z, Robin Roberts, Laura Spencer, and all the ABC talent for Women's History Month, this final Women's History Month week. To all the inside studio ABC cameramen, remember to get their good side. Appreciate that one. Finally, our social justice and criminal justice reformer, according to TMZ, has positive action of helping one of people, such as Alice Marie Johnson, has now, after being released from prison thanks to Kim and thanks to Donald Trump, has been appointed as Trump's pardon czar. Now that is pretty freaking cool. Not to mention, Kim, our little battle angel Kardashian, has taken her MPRE, which is the Multi-State Professional Responsibility Exam. It's a test on legal ethics and professional conduct, a mandatory step towards bar admission. Now that's interesting because she knows she put that test into an armbar submission. That's for sure. However, a final story. And this is for real. Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian has introduced baby Rocky to a goat. No, not a WNBA or college hooper, but an actual goat. I hope you enjoyed it, kiddo. What was your first animal that you got to meet that you can remember as a young child? I had my eyes set on a turtle. I'll explain that one in a couple of days on the next podcast. But till then, let's hope for the best for everybody and everything.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
May you be blessed by God and all the things that you touch. May you succeed. This is Cali Joe. Are you listening?